Previously on Unranked.
Unfortunately, because Tuna was so insulted that I wasn't impressed by his daughter's guitar, he is...
There was a clip from that I almost used, which was him saying, like, she doesn't listen to me anymore, and I'll tell her to do stuff, and she just says no or ignores me. Now, I wish I had left that in, because he was like, he texted us like minutes ago. I was like, I'm sorry, she's not going to bed. I have to stay up.
Yeah, we were playing Halo last night, and he was talking about how she's got a little attitude on her, and then he mentioned something about himself, and we were like, oh, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
You know, even when I'm not on the podcast, the previously on is about Meg.
I mean, you're the star of the show.
I got food in my mouth. Someone else do it.
It's Unranked episode number 300, 400 something, and 411.
Correct.
It's 411. Congratulations, you've made it this far. Hit me with the complaint. Hit me with the complaint music, because I already have a complaint. It just happened. It happened about 3 minutes ago.
Shit. That's why.
No, it happened about 15 minutes ago.
Breaking complaint.
Breaking complaint. Because this is going to be, because she's not going to listen to this anyway. So we'll just, I feel like Carl right now slagging off Suzanne.
Oh, okay.
Do we have the music? Do we not have the music?
Yeah.
Should we just go right into the complaint, or what's going on?
This is Alex Marinello doing a complaint with TheChooms and Tom Caswell.
That was the, oh, there we go. So we're watching this show on Netflix. It's a Harlan Coben, right? He does all like those stupid murder mystery type shows, thrillers.
It's a what?
It's like a murder mystery. Somebody's dead or somebody got kidnapped, and it's like a whole twisty turny, wibbly timey-wimey, wibbly wobbly program.
It doesn't clear it up at all, but okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
This guy Harlan Coben, he's done a bunch of these little miniseries.
Okay.
It's based on his books. All right. So
It's
we're
like
watching
Agatha
it.
Christie.
Kinda, yeah, like the modern Agatha Christie. And they just like go right to Netflix. It's just they're cranking them out.
Oh fuck.
So we're sitting there watching it.
Machine in my life.
I know. So we're sitting there watching it, right? And I'm keeping my voice down just in case you can listen to this. But so we're watching the episode. The episode ends at 8:45:50. All right, we do this podcast at 9. And like on the bottom, like when you're getting towards the end of the series, Netflix will tell you that there's like 1 or 2 episodes to go. So she goes, oh, there's 2 episodes to go. Are we going to finish this tonight? And I said, no. And she said, well, why not? And I said, it's Thursday. And she went, so? And I went, I do the podcast on Thursdays. And I was like, I cannot believe you don't remember. And then she said, wow, you're an asshole. So my complaint is that I have been doing this podcast. Yes, we've switched days sometimes, but I do let her know.
For Survivor. For you.
Yeah. So we have been doing this for this long, okay? And it's on Thursday. Actually, this happens with Survivor too. And it's like Wednesday night, and she's like, oh, what are we watching tonight? And I'm always like, we're not watching anything tonight. I'm watching Survivor. And it's like, I always feel guilty saying that.
But you're like, why
feel
should
guilty.
I?
Why should I feel guilty? It's every Wednesday we watch Survivor. Every Thursday we do the podcast. Like, why should I? But I do.
Every Friday I play games with the boys.
Right.
Every Saturday.
Right. Because then I
why
feel like
is she mad, Tom?
She wants some time. What?
No, but the thing that gets me is like after all these years, you still don't remember that it's Wednesday night is Survivor.
I think it's more
Wednesday
that
night,
she just
Thursday
doesn't even
night,
realize
Friday
what
night,
day of the week it
for
is.
the boys.
No, so then I go, it's I say, right? This is gonna get me in trouble. I say it's really annoying that you don't remember that like Thursday is podcast and Survivor is on Wednesday. And like every single time you ask me to do like, oh, are we gonna watch something tonight? I always have to say like no, and then I feel bad. And then she goes, well, I'm sorry, but your schedule is like the bottom of the barrel on my priority list. Like, who cares about your life?
She got you. She got you good.
So I was like, She was like, with all the other stuff in my life right now, your schedule is.
There's such a big delay on when I press the button and the sound happens.
She said, with everything else in my life going on, what do I care about your schedule? I don't give a. Actually, I think her exact quote was, "I don't give a fuck about your schedule."
I mean,
that's unbelievable.
She's speaking of mine.
So Pokemon 4 or 11, huh?
Yeah.
Pokemon 411. Alex, you might want to, you're going to want to
We
pull
keep
up
it-
that list as
We
well.
keep it fresh here. We keep it fresh here on the Unranked podcast. Keep
You're
it
going to want
fresh.
to pull up that list with the, I mean, I got to say, keeping it fresh, this listing the Pokemon and ranking them has reinvigorated this segment, I feel.
Let me tell you something. If
I
my
agree.
enemies listen to this podcast, they could have taken that little snip right there, sent it to her now. I probably won't be sleeping in the master bedroom. I mean, in the primary bedroom tonight. Probably going to the guest.
Primary bedroom. Why did you feel compelled to switch it from master to primary?
That's the new
That's
thing,
the new
buddy.
thing, yeah. Because there's
because
a
it would
reason.
be
Master.
master of the house.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's now primary bedroom, and if you go look at houses, primary.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll be sleeping in the guest room tonight. Yep. Actually,
So, Alex-
you know what the worst part about it is? If I ever do have to sleep in the guest room, because it's happened before and not for a fight.
Really? Oh,
Well,
okay.
not for a fight. It's happened because she's brought our kid in, and
there's no room.
so she's like, she's either kicking me or she's up talking, or Brittany's on her phone, and I'm just like, well, I can't sleep, so I'm gonna go to the guest room. And the biggest problem with it is that I don't have my CPAP machine in the guest room, so I get the worst. Not only am I like mad, but now I'm also getting the worst night's sleep in my life. Anyway, Pokemon 411, yeah.
Pokemon
Bastiodon.
Bastiodon. Tell me about it. Where's this name come from? What's it look like?
It's storming the Bastille in France, and it looks like a giant 1789 was the storming of the Bastille. Am I right on that? I
Wow.
took a guess. Am I
I
correct?
mean, you might be. I don't know.
I'm going to check. Storming the Bastille. Bastille Day. 1789. The 14th of July, 1789. That's not
Wow.
bad.
No.
Good on my memory. Anyway, so it looks just like a big number,
Pick one of those.
1789 with fire. And then the legs are the 7, the 9, and the 1. And it's missing a leg because the 8 doesn't make a leg.
Yeah. And interestingly, like because you could look like at the dinosaur derivative name and be like, well, the Bastille French thing, like we don't know how accurate that is. But if you look at the Japanese name, Tordeps, that also is a combination of fortress and Triceratops. So it definitely is like, I mean, again, it says May, but that feels like a very strong May.
Let me tell you something. I did not even look at the name origin when I did this whole Bastille bullshit.
Oh,
but
that is what it. I thought you were just reading it.
No.
I thought you were ad-libbing it because you went out of order, but no, that is correct.
No, I completely just off the cuff. I didn't even look at the name origin.
No, that's yeah, not necessarily the storming of the Bastille, but
no,
it
not
is
the
for
storming.
the Bastille.
It says it may.
I just
also
thought you were giving a
allude to
history
the Bastille.
lesson.
No,
like with the Pokemon origin.
Nope.
I was like, oh, we've unlocked. Alex has a secondary hobby of loving, 15th century France.
I mean, he does.
After Rome.
Well,
where is that stacking for you?
In 9th grade, I did a it's pretty See,
France,
I always say that like right after the American Revolutionary War / French Revolution, things get real boring. I just find the 1800s extremely boring.
Yeah, agreed.
And the 1900s even more boring until
nothing happened in the 1800s.
No, nothing. So, fuck that time period.
There wasn't like a civil war or anything.
No. There wasn't conflict in Europe. No, nothing going on.
Alex's brain is actually just conflict in Europe.
He's like, after Rome, nothing happened.
Nothing happens.
Everything was so boring.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Bastion.
Well,
Bastiodon.
Actually did do the name origin.
Yeah, I basically did it. Yeah. Oh, Tom asked me the time period. Yeah, so like I really enjoy actually everything history wise. I enjoy a lot of it up until about 1812. Like Battle of Waterloo, War of 1812, that area, from then on, boring.
Yeah.
There's a lot of technological advancements. We come out of like go ahead. Forget it.
Back to the Pokemon.
Yeah. Yep.
What do we think about this, Tom? How do you like the design changes from the previous
Tom, you
evolution?
look weird.
What is you? Do you have ADHD? Did you just get ADHDs today? Like, did you
just
get like a
develop it?
software upgrade and there's like or did you have like a coffee 20 minutes ago? Like,
No, I'm
I
just
don't know
riding
the
on a.
last time I've ever seen Alex just his brain just jump around like this before.
Yeah, that's a good point. What was the question?
There wasn't any.
No,
Oh, there was.
Chris had one for me.
Oh yeah, he had one for you. What do you think
I
of
was
the
asking what
Pokemon?
you think about just because Alex wouldn't have had time yet, at least I don't think, to look at the previous Pokemon, but the changes because I think this Pokemon's it's cool, but it's kind of ugly.
I dig it. I dig its design. I think that it you know,
Shocker.
I mentioned it before. I think it's a
It looks like a
really good
castle.
upgrade. Yeah, it looks like the thing it's meant to be. It's also not one of those ones that's based on a um not a man-made design, right? Because there are some Pokemon, there's like Trubbish and stuff, and there's that one that
Well,
picks
this
up
is
the
a man-made
girder.
design. It's a
What I'm
wall
s-
with windows.
I agree. What
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying is
Yeah.
that I think that this is one like a better
Oh.
execution on that because it still looks like an
Mm-hmm.
animal.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, but like
It
some of
does.
them are
It
just
does.
like
And it
we're
looks
gonna make it
like a
look like the
dinosaur.
thing, and it doesn't look like it's a real creature. It just looks
Yes.
like
Yeah.
a garbage bag with eyes.
Yeah. No, I agree. It definitely looks like a Pokemon, even though it looks like a wall as
Yeah,
well. They
I
did a good
dig it.
job
I
on
think
this
it's
one.
gonna go high for me.
I like it
Oh.
more now than I used to because we know about the castle thing, because I never understood why its face looks so stupid. And now that I do, I don't hate it, but
I
I
don't think
used
it
to
looks
think it was
stupid.
pretty ugly.
I mean, it does look like a plane in the front, like the back of a plane or something with the
You,
wings that are above its
you know why,
eyes, and
Tom?
then
Because a Triceratops Pokemon should look really, really cool, and this doesn't look like what I would want out of that, and we never got it. So I look at this and I just say, well, this was our chance, and this is what we got.
I can't even go back. That Bulbapedia for me is
Yeah, Bulbapedia is not working for
Oh,
me at
not working.
all.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I was
It
trying to go
literally just
back and pull
crashed.
it up,
Yeah.
but yeah,
No, it just crashed.
same problem here. All right,
Yeah.
well, then let's get to the list. So, Alex, you weren't here last week. We had to
Where'd you
place
guys
one
put
without you.
Yeah, where'd it go?
It was close. It was close. It
Mm.
almost went above Shinx, and we were like, no.
How
We
dare
couldn't
you?
we couldn't do that without. Like if
So
we're
it's
gonna pull that
directly
move,
below
yeah.
Shinx.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
directly below Shinx. I'm gonna use my, speaking of a wall, we talked about the Shinx wall, right?
Mhm.
Like Shinx is kind of like a demarcation. Nothing
It
shall
definitely
cross.
is.
Nothing shall
Everything
cross
above
this.
Shinx is good.
I might put this above it.
Where would you put it above it?
Not too far. Probably
Shinx
above
for the listeners
Staraptor.
are now is number 14 now on the list. Shinx is
Out of
14.
24. I'd probably put it above Staraptor.
I mean, there's no way it's going above Piplup.
No.
Definitely not going above Lux. EO.
Yeah, it's not going above Luxio either.
That's where I kind of settled.
And then Staraptor. Let me just look at Staraptor real quick before
What is the Staraptor typing?
the typing.
I think it's just flying. Because we're not just doing it on design.
Bulbapedia is
flying
Bulbapedia is
normal.
back. Bulbapedia is back.
Thank God.
What did you say? We're not doing what, Tom?
We're not just doing it on design. Like you can.
No, I know we're not.
Yeah.
I know we're not. That's why I'm asking about the typing.
That's why I'm saying to
because-
Tuna, because Tuna was like, "Why is typing?"
No,
it?"
I was going purely on how cool. I was basing everything on cool factor.
I would
But
say
also-
85% is the
Whoa.
design.
in the past, Alex,
Cra-
like when we
what do
had Luxio, you were like, that one is in my party, So that's also like, is it in your party?
What are you eating over there? What's going on?
I'm eating my dinner. My damn intermittent fasting. I have such a small window to eat, and then I didn't eat in time, so I've been eating at the beginning of the show. I'll be done shortly, and then I gotta go take.
What?
Gotta go
Well,
put
no,
my teeth in.
share with the class. What are you eating?
Just Impossible Nuggets.
Oh, 60 of them?
No, 6.
60 of them?
No, 6.
Anyway,
6.
where are we putting it?
You can put it where you want to put it, Tom. It's fine.
At top of the list?
Yeah, no.
No
Well,
way.
what's Chris got to say then? If
You could
don't
put it
give a
at number
shit?
30. I'm fine if you put it at 13 or 14. Luxio is going to be a tough line to
It's
cross
not
for
going
me.
above Luxio. If you want to put it above Staraptor, that's fine. It's
Okay.
kind of a coin flip.
Okay.
Yeah,
me.
it's fine. Put it there. It's fine.
Okay.
You got any sauces with those nuggets or dry?
I got some hot honey.
Oh,
Ooh.
hell
What,
yeah.
Mike's Hot Honey or some other
They're just
brand?
Trader Joe's. It's good though.
So to clarify for listeners, we currently have 25 Pokemon this generation, and
Wow.
we've put
That was
Bastiodon
fast.
at 13.
That was
So
fast.
it's a little above halfway. Oh
That
no,
was
it's
very
it's it's
fast how
it's right
quickly
at
we
halfway
have,
actually. It's top
Yeah.
of the bottom. It's top of the bottom.
Top of the
to
bottom.
you.
Top
of the
of the
muffin to
bottom
you.
to
Bottom to
you.
All right. Well,
Okay.
that's this week's Pokemon. We'll be back next week with a new Pokemon because that one doesn't have another evolution.
Wait, so there's only 100
Totally new
this
line.
generation?
Correct. Oh, actually, I don't know why I said that. I have no idea.
Gen 4, I think it's like 107 or something.
It's close to 100. Yeah.
All right.
There's one coming up that's like
107.
70 or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Crazy times.
What's been going on, Tuna?
Yeah. What have you been up to?
You weren't here last week.
Yeah, no.
Grace us with your graciousness.
No, nothing's really been doing. Still working from home. Have I played anything? Has anything gone on in my life?
Well, I
We
told
try to-
Tom last week we started a brand new game, beat it, and now we're working on the DLC.
Oh, yes. Called Escape Academy.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, and
They
that's
have a song
that's
that
the
they-
song that
Yeah.
is played, and the person singing sings Escape Academy over and over
that
And over.
that is the song. It's
and
true.
over again. It's pretty
And now
good.
Tuna keeps just singing it. Like it's like a
It's
weird
fantastic.
tick he's picked up.
It's Escape Academy. So
We'll be solving
yeah.
a puzzle, and it's like quiet sometimes, and I just hear Alex singing it like under his breath to himself.
Yeah, so we've been solving puzzles. The beginning puzzles, the base game, I will say, Chris and I were breezing through, solving things no problem. The DLC, a little tougher. So we've been facing some challenges. But I would say if you have a good friend out there and you like this friend, I would say pick it up.
And you like this friend.
But yeah, if you guys like to talk to each
If
other,
you have a
and-
friend, and more importantly, if you like this friend.
yeah, if you have a friend that you like to tell things to and play games with, then yeah, go for it.
Right?
Best buds for life.
We
Oh my goodness.
so there's 2 packs of DLC for that game, Tom, and we beat the first one already. A plus everything. Although we actually did a fail state. We actually like lost on a puzzle, and there was one that we lost on that like Alex just was like on this one part alone, and he was just like, I can't fucking figure this out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I keep doing this, it does this. I don't just it's just like 7 minutes. And then I came over to help him because we were in like separate rooms doing different things. I finished mine, I came over to help him. And then I just like pressed a button. He goes, I didn't press that.
Yeah,
He's like, I didn't do
Wasted
that the
my
whole
time.
time. Like,
wasted my time for like
he just
15 minutes.
Fool. You absolute fool.
Yeah, classic. So that's that. We I just just picked up Prince of Persia.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic so far. It's actually fairly
How far have you gotten into it?
20 minutes.
Oh,
Okay. It gets
20 minutes.
yeah.
So
It
I
gets
will
a lot better.
Yeah, I will say the combat is good, and the
Yeah.
parry is like
The
the
parry.
window for
Oh,
parry is
it's
like
really good.
it's not a huge window. So it's like for the parry system. So I was
But
like,
it
all
does
right, well,
it does importantly, I think, also feel correct. Because sometimes
it does, yeah.
Yeah.
there are games I have that like have a short parry window, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like when you want me to parry doesn't. This game, when I want to
this
parry,
game feels good.
I
God
parry.
of War is one that comes to mind that feels good. The parry, whenever I hit the parry on God of War, I'm always like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. But so this parry is very good. The window's small though. And yeah, so I'm like early game. I don't have
Good
any
game, small
powers.
window.
I don't have any powers or anything. I don't have any
Yeah.
upgrades, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
I just got
Um,
some of my first like real upgrades. Like there's some
so
like early upgrades and then there's like real upgrades.
yeah,
I think I'm right behind where Chris is in terms of progression. If you're at 30% progression, I'm like in the mid 20s.
I'm guessing I
Yeah.
am because they say the game is about 20 hours ish.
Oh, yeah. On the main,
Um,
when you load up a save, it'll tell you your
oh, I
percentage.
actually don't
Hmm.
know. I'm
Hmm.
just guessing because
Okay.
if the game's around 20 hours and I put in like 6, I'm like, okay, I'm about 30%. That's what I figure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm probably right around that as well. Yeah,
A lot of
Prince of
collectibles for you, Tuna.
Persia. Oh yeah, lots of collects.
Love collectibles.
And you have that. One of the things I was telling, the kind of cherry on top that I gave Tuna as we were trying to convince him to pick it up. Although I think it took very little convincing. I think
I
there
love
was a
Prince of
lot.
Persia, so it wasn't going to be that bad.
Oh, I didn't even know that you were a Prince of Persia like
Oh, big
fan.
time.
Okay,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
well there we go.
Sands of Time, baby. That
I mean,
was
what's that
love
time
that game.
period? How are you feeling on this time period in this region of the world?
Well, I told you already in a text that I didn't know that the ancient, well, Persians had British accents. So
Oh, right. Yes. They surprisingly, yes, they did.
yeah, they had
Um,
English accents. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
some of them are white.
It's crazy,
So
crazy, absolutely nuts.
yeah,
And then
crazy
also
stuff.
they don't wear armor either. Apparently, they're well. I'm not
Well, I
early
switched
doors.
And
into
there's zombies.
And there's
and there's
zombies, right? There's
zombies.
a
Yep.
whole issue there
And
with
there's
that. And then
time
also they
manipulation
only,
and
right,
all
they
that
also only walk
left to right.
in left and right. They don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually go right.
You
They
know
So
only
what's
walk in two
cool though?
dimensions.
There were a couple times so far I'm playing the game.
hmm,
And you know how like these side-scrolling games, both platformers and these sort of like platform mappers or action platformers, whatever you want to call these games.
hmm.
Because Metrovania is also a stupid name.
It's
You
just
know
their
how
Okay.
name.
like they did start to introduce like sometimes you can go in the background on the
Yes.
Yeah,
games, right?
yeah.
A cool thing happened in this, which reminded me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like I went into an area and like you know how they also have foreground objects. An
Hmm,
enemy climbed over the rock from the foreground and came in from the front. So
That's
hmm.
like there
cool.
was a
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
you'll
only
have
happened a
enemy. Yeah.
couple times, but it was really fucking cool.
Yeah, sometimes there's enemies in the very early that will run in from the front. Yeah, it's and I love like the cutscenes are like meticulously animated and
Mm.
they play with dimension in really fun and interesting ways that like make you feel that even I think it also helps that like there's immortal you're in a team, right? You're searching this area and the rest of the team goes their separate ways. So it's like they all go the other directions. You're the guy that's left going left and right. So it makes the world feel like it does have more dimension as well. But the cherry on top, the coolest thing that I think this game does is it has this mapping mechanic where if you get somewhere where there's an item or there's a passage where you can't get to because you don't have the right power or something, or there's maybe an area where the enemy is too tough, you can like take an actual screenshot of that, pin it as a marker on the map, and so that when you're in the map, it'll be there for you to hover over, and it'll show you the screenshot. And it's a really good mechanic for especially for a game like this. Yeah, good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Puzzles are really strong, and it's a challenging game. It's not just the parrying, but it feels like you also feel quite powerful as well. And when you get in a good rhythm, you feel kind of unstoppable. So very much enjoying it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The map has been really kind, which is the thing that I like a lot. Ori
What
has a
does that
really
mean?
kind map in that like when you're playing the game and you need to like get from one area to another, like it doesn't force you to like get to an endpoint and then just walk backwards a lot of the way. A lot of the areas
Oh,
that like
okay.
I go into are looping back
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
to where I need to go if I need to go back or bringing you to the next like zone. So you're in a way just always making progress and I don't feel like I'm backtracking a lot, which is like the least fun part of these kinds of games.
Yep.
Hmm.
So like that has been very very cool. It's great. It's really cool. Kind of came out of
Beautiful
nowhere
too.
as far as I'm concerned, but I just wasn't paying attention to it all.
It had been on my radar, and I thought it would be. I was like, okay, if they're gonna make a Prince of Persia game, we have Assassin's Creed, right? So we don't need to go to that, go back to the 3D action. Like this feels like a really good formula for Prince of Persia. So I thought it would be good. but when reviews started coming out and people were like, no, this is going to be like maybe a game, especially with like how kind of slim this year is compared to last year, like this really could be like a game of the year contender. So I didn't think it would be as good as it is, but it is. It's really good.
It's wild. I'm excited
It
about
is
it.
good. And then the other thing,
I'm excited we're all playing it because Tuna hasn't joined in any of the new games in a minute, just because he hasn't been able to. So it's fun that we're all playing this.
Well, I
game.
also played Jusant.
Oh yeah, I also played Jusant.
Tom.
I mean, I haven't beat it or anything, but I've played a good chunk of it.
I haven't beat it.
Yeah, we didn't have to. You don't have to beat.
You don't have to beat it. You
Jusant.
just have to play it enough to talk about it.
I mean, are we just jumping right into Game Club right now?
Sure.
I mean, did we want to talk about it
at the
this
end of
week?
the episode?
No, fine. Fuck, we'll talk about it next week.
Okay, yeah, we'll do next week then.
So
then
no,
I can
the other
finish
thing,
it. I think I'm 2/3 done.
Oh, I'm definitely not going to finish it. So the other thing Chris and I played was Walkabout mini golf.
You got your headset back.
I got my headset back, and by headset back, I mean I got a new headset. So, yeah, I wrote like a whole explanation. I wrote, no torn pieces on it, and I wrote a whole explanation on the card, being like, "I'm really sorry, I didn't like this. It wasn't from the thing." Blah blah. They didn't. Nothing was even said. I literally sent. I feel like I sent it. They opened it. They were like,
"You hand wrote a note."
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Dear Mr. PlayStation.
Dear Mr. PlayStation. So but like as soon as what's funny is that I sent my headset to the facility in Iowa, and then I got an alert that it was coming, that like something is being shipped to me from PlayStation, and it was from Texas, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm getting a new headset. So it works great.
Texas is where they have it though. The repair facility is in Texas.
That's not where I sent my. That's not where the thing was sent.
Oh, that's weird. Mine was sent to Texas.
Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, so I got the headset back. Works great. Looks great. Fantastic. Didn't forget to take anything off. I got my HoloLens on for my eyeglasses. I got my globular cluster back on.
Oh yeah.
Didn't rip it this time. Anyway, so we jumped into the new course, Around the World in 80 Days, which is based on Jules Verne's novel of the same name, and
starring David Tennant,
right? And is not don't think of it as you're going to be going to different locations around the world. The setting is an imagining that the Eiffel Tower was a airport for blimps.
Yeah.
And hot air balloons.
It's very fantastical.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
So that's the setting. The setting is you're there. You start. Hole number 1 is at the ticket counter, and you go all the way up to the lobby, to where you would have like coffee and drinks, and then there's it's very, very cool. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And the course is great. After coming off of a Meow Wolf course where balls are changing sizes and teleporting and doing all crazy stuff, we kind of go back to your basic course. With basic obstacles, but fun.
But a level up. Like this feels almost more like what you would expect out of a traditional mini golf course, just not in the sky, because it's like just objects moving basically in or out of the way. It's all geometry.
Right, but exactly. It's not like you hit a ball over here, it pops over on the left, or
there's no gravity.
There's no gravity, there's no portals, there's no power-ups or anything like like that. It's
no Ant-Man powers.
You know what they should do? Now, we're getting all of these horror Steamboat Willie movies now that original Mickey is public domain.
They should make a Steamboat Willie level.
A Steamboat Willie level.
That would
they don't have to do anything with Disney, and it would be a really cool imaginative level, I imagine.
Yeah. Yep.
All black and white.
Listen, I'll keep buying courses if they keep making them. I will just keep buying them. I have so much fun in VR in this.
It's also
setting.
$4.
It's $4. It's like I said, for right now, for me.
And you're getting 2 courses.
As much as I loved Pavlov, right? And I do like playing it with you guys. My 2 favorite things to play that I've ever played in I was about to say in VR are Demio and mini golf, where I'm not expending a lot of energy. I am just like either sitting in a tabletop game and manipulating the board, but like it's there, or in mini golf where I'm just hitting a ball casually playing. Like for me, that's where VR is excelling for me right now. And I guess the other part is that Chris and I got to practice up a little bit because the tournament is about to resume soon.
Yeah, it'll
Mm.
slow crawl resume because I haven't
It'll-
been
yeah.
playing on PlayStation, and
No, right. Chris has got the. I was way off today in
we
my
got to get our,
strokes,
our
my
golf
lining,
legs
my
back.
my. I was not hitting the straight putts
Yeah,
like
we got
I
to decide
was.
where Meow Wolf and Around the World in 80 Days
Right,
go
where are
on the
they gonna
tournament
go?
list.
Exactly.
We gotta,
The whole production.
and we also have to finish Escape Academy first, because
Right,
otherwise we're just never gonna finish that game.
Escape
We only have like 4 puzzle rooms left, so
Academy.
yeah, it's exciting. It's great. It's a great game, and this is a top 10 level already. Like I could tell
Oh
instantly.
yeah, totally.
Honestly,
It's a lot of
this
fun.
might be like
Oh wow, okay, top 10.
closer to the top 5 even.
It's
Like
great.
this
Like the
reminds me a
setting
lot
is
of
great.
Coyote Valley, Alex, which is one of my absolute
Yes.
favorite courses.
Yes. But also,
'Cause-
Tom, it reminded me of, do you ever play BioShock Infinite? It has that
Oh,
kind of
yes.
feel to it.
Oh
Yes.
well, now
It
we're
is that
now
kind
Just
of
we're
feel
without
to
the
it.
racism.
Right. And
well,
without
a bunch
but
of
it-
things.
yeah, but it's that setting, like that oldie time, like picture,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah, I
cool.
gotcha.
It
It's
looks
really, really cool.
steampunky, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think,
It's great.
was there anything else that I did? Any other move? I started watching Monarch, Legacy
Okay.
of Whatevers.
Monsters.
Monsters. And I'll say to you what I said to Chris, which is no spoilers, which is
Mm.
just that the Russells, Wyatt,
Wyatt
and Kurt steal that show 100%. Like all the other characters might as well just be like, fuck yourself. They're the best part of that show. So, in
I
my
watched the
opinion,
first episode. It didn't. It ended up falling to the wayside because it didn't like grab me immediately. I do want.
no,
to
I
get
agree.
around to
It's
watching
not
it.
going to. It's. But the thing is, they're good.
Sure.
The other actors are okay, and it's pretty much a Kurt and Wyatt Russell vehicle.
Speaking
for now.
of good performances,
Mhm.
did anyone get around to watching Echo?
No, we're
Echo.
gonna wait till
No.
there's more episodes out, and right now we're watching both the US and the UK versions of the Traitors.
There we
Oh,
go.
the
I
Traitors,
thought
dude!
that
The US
I
version
thought
of the
that you didn't
Traitors.
like the US version. You
Again,
still watching it?
it's not that I don't like it.
There we
It's
go.
that
Okay.
if you're only gonna watch one, it
Watch
is
the
such
UK
a
one.
vastly superior product.
Yeah.
Like I think the UK Traitors is up there
Yep.
with Survivor and the original Mole with Anderson Cooper, the first
Yeah.
2 seasons. I think it's a top 3, and I might like it as much as I like Survivor. I think it might be like the best reality show I've seen. The US Traitors, I think, is like kind of like junk food.
Okay,
Like the
but
host is bad, the challenges
the
aren't as
host
good,
is
the twists
so
aren't as
bad.
good, and because
host
of
is so
celebrities,
bad.
it all feels overproduced, and it all feels like very fake, and like the drama isn't real.
But
Whereas in the UK one, people are the most vicious I've ever seen.
wait, but
It's unbelievable.
I will
All right.
say the second season of the Traitors US is leaps and bounds already
is.
much better than
is.
season 1 and much more interesting
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
So
Because they didn't mix real people in with celebrities, which made it
Yes.
even worse. The
oh
mixture
my
was
god, that was so
much
bad.
worse than just having.
And I got to tell
Yeah.
you, they got to get rid of the host. It is
Yep.
so he is so bad.
Yep.
They got to get rid of him.
He's terrible.
He's terrible.
Lovey is great. He's terrible.
In other TV news, Tom, I don't know if you saw it, but Taskmaster Champions of Champions 3 was probably one of the best episodes
Yeah.
of Taskmaster I've seen in a while. It was
Yeah.
funny, engaged, like it was just so
We
good.
were dying.
I loved it. I thought it was one of the better
It is.
episodes. It was so good. It was so
There's never been a group of players like that ever before in a single episode. It makes
Yeah.
it makes it an absolute crime that it's one special instead of
yeah,
at least a 2-parter.
a 2-parter or even a 3-parter. That would have been
Yeah.
great. That would have been
Yeah.
so much fun.
Tom, I was pissing
Um,
myself during that. It was
very funny.
we were like,
really,
oh, well,
really
this
good.
person just nailed this task, and then the next person goes, and you're like, oh my god, and then another person goes, and you're like, they just keeps like escalating.
Wrapping it up. That's great. Well, to get back to Echo, because I did see it, and you were talking about Kurt Russell stealing the show and all the other actors or whatever being whatever.
Yeah.
I liked Echo. I think that its strongest point is its performances. I think all of the extra castmates, the new characters that they introduce, are fantastic. Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, getting him back he slips right in. It feels great. And I think Alekwa Cox, who plays Maya, is a really strong actor despite this being her first role, she wasn't an actor when they cast her in Hawkeye.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's super young. She's like in her mid-20s. Not that that matters, but yeah, she was not an actor before this, and now she is. And I think the story is fine. I think like it's a very kind of generic feeling story. I think the best bits of it come from the interpersonal character moments, but the overarching kind of why characters are where they are and their motivations for certain things are kind of lacking. I think this would honestly work better if it was just like 3 episodes and but it feels like they have to like pad it out a little bit. Even though it's only 5 episodes, I think you could have condensed it.
Oh,
Or
the whole thing is 5?
yeah, the whole thing is 5 episodes. Yeah.
Is it done?
Yeah, they dropped them all at once.
Oh,
wow.
All right. Well, we'll watch that soon.
Yeah, they dropped them all at once. And the
Oh, I didn't
last
know
2
that.
are like really short as well. Like they're like a half.
Oh,
They're like a
honestly,
little
we'll
over a half
probably watch
hour.
it this weekend. That's great to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can breeze through it very, very quickly.
But then just make a movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that the story should have been condensed, and it could have, if it had been like a tight like hour 45, my issues with like maybe like the pacing of it would have been solved. Or I personally like the characters so much and think there's so much they could have pushed it a bit further even.
Sure.
I could have gone for a couple more episodes.
But from
and,
what
like,
you do
really
have.
spend. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
All
it,
right,
and
cool.
I think it's mainly character performances. There's some really cool action scenes in there. And yeah, I mean, and it sets up future things I think actually interesting, not just like, oh, here's the multiverse, right? Like there's
Right.
interesting story threads that I want to see. The post credit on the very final episode, like where that potentially leads, is like way more interesting to me, even though it might not be like, oh my god, like the X-Men are gonna show up or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's leaving things off is way more interesting than any of that shit. So yeah.
Can you watch it as a standalone? Because like
Yeah,
I feel like
so
I'm kind of not
it's called
into...
it's called a Marvel Spotlight. It's the first time they're using this branding, which basically is meant to be like, hey, you can just watch this on its own.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And they even go so far as to literally like the first episode is half new footage, half footage from Hawkeye. So like all of the bits from Hawkeye you even need to know are like in the show, like literally just like taking bits of that and shoving it in there.
Well, yeah, because I was saying, I forget who I was saying this to, but I'm like, I'll watch Marvel stuff, but I'm not as invested as I used to be, to the point like where I need to watch it all.
Absolutely.
So
Here's
it
the
would be
thing.
very good if this was, and it is from all accounts, that if it's just a standalone and I can enjoy it by itself. And I don't need to watch something before, and I don't need to watch something after.
Yeah. That strong investment though was like a much briefer period than I think people realize. When those movies were just coming out for 8 years, it was kind of like, oh yeah, I'll get around to seeing that for most people. It wasn't until the last like
Phase 3 was
handful
really
of
the
years
point,
that we were like,
Yeah, I know,
like
but I
just
feel
a year or
like...
two away from Endgame, where everyone was like, all right, now I'm in on everything all the time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When they started doing WandaVision and then Hawkeye and then
which were
all the
both
stuff
awesome.
they were both good, and the Hawkeye and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and all this stuff started coming out, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can keep up with it anymore.
Some of these
But
should
if
have
it's
just been movies
standalone,
anyway.
it's great. So there are people who would complain about what I'm about to say right now because I'm going to dip into the past. But just 2 things really quick.
People hate the past.
Yeah, 2 things really quick. One, saw Barbie, the movie, right?
Okay.
Fantastic. Ryan Gosling, honestly, steals that fucking movie. That's point 1.
I think we might have talked about this already.
And point 2, my memory.
I think he told you this during Halo.
Yeah, possibly. Or a podcast, who
right.
knows, because my memory isn't as good as it used to be. And the second thing is Only Murders in the Building. Saw season 1. Fucking fantastic.
Yep.
So
I'm glad you
fucking
finally watched
funny.
it.
That one.
So fucking funny. Martin Short is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
All right. That's great.
I'm gonna get a quick drink.
Well,
Remember we used to do intermissions?
Let's do it. Let's take a quick
5-minute
5 so that
break.
I can go
Quick five.
I gotta put my teeth in actually, so it's perfect timing.
Okay,
Gotta put
I'll get some water. I could go
Put in my teeth.
Put your teeth in.
Yeah,
He's got
Invisalign.
Who are you,
Invisalign.
Grandpa from
Yeah,
Rugrats? Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
I get new teeth put in. I put in new teeth tomorrow. This is my last day on these teeth. New teeth tomorrow. Teeth number 2, 2 of 19.
Amazing. Something that I checked out of the game.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
So here's a weird. It's just because it's on topic. Oh, now Alex is gonna notice my list more.
Notice it? I mean, who can't notice it?
I know. Well, but you didn't say anything when we were playing Walkabout mini golf.
Well, I couldn't really hear you that well.
Yeah,
when we were
that's what I
playing
thought. I
Walkabout
was like,
mini
oh,
golf.
he's gonna hear it immediately on the podcast. So here's a weird thing with these. They get kind of like any kind of mouth guard or can like get kind of gross. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna have that. So I got this dental pod. It's got like a sonic cleaner in it. Have you ever seen those like ultrasonic cleaners? You vibrate the water, make a little bubble. So I got cleaner that goes in there and stuff, does ultrasonic, so it's ready super clean. But also the top has a UV light on it and it does the sanitize. But then I remembered that during the pandemic, a lot of these like random companies just sending these things out from China. And Tom, you guys tried so hard not to laugh.
Well, because you said Shonic. So
yeah, so it's
I feel like me and Tuna are in that car at E3 in the back of that taxi, and we are trying not to laugh. So,
and
anyway,
yeah, continue.
I was like, I remember reading this article that a lot of these UV devices people were getting were just blue LEDs. They weren't real.
That's so
So I was
funny.
like, wait, how the hell am I gonna know?
Yeah.
So I found a card online, a UV test card. And it's like it has several uses, but the main one is to make sure like to test UV sanitation lights to make sure they're still working. And they're reusable because it has a material on it that will react to the UV. So I put it in and it worked. Oh, long story short, when I was checking the thing, before I got the UV card, I was listening to a podcast when I opened the machine and the light was on, and it fucks up my AirPods, which is when I realized this thing probably is real because the second I open the lid and while the light's on, the AirPods start like fucking up if I close the lid. So I was like, oh, this is putting out something that my AirPods don't work.
It's frying my brain.
Yeah, so my brother visited last weekend with my niece and nephew, and we went to Nintendo World where I got this, which is oh yeah.
Did we see
Another
that before?
Yoshi hat? No, it was
I have like the big plushie.
actual Yoshi.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm Yoshed out over here.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me turn the heat on because we haven't had the heat on all year. It hasn't, actually gotten that cold in the house. It gets down to like 60, but it's kind of nice actually. Just wear a hoodie. Go to turn it on. Heat's not really working. Took hours to get it up like 2 degrees. So turns out if you are low on coolant, like the refrigerant, your heat also doesn't work, not just your AC. Both don't work, which I did not know. And we hadn't used the AC or anything in, at least like a month. So we had no idea. So now I have to get that fixed, which is not great.
Fun.
But yeah, went to Nintendo World, went to Universal. We got new Universal passes for the year. If you're a Southern California resident, it costs us $10 less than the price of 2 tickets. And we can go, we have passes for the next year. So
and you are so close. Like
yeah,
you are
and we get free
ridiculously
parking.
Close.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, like,
you have free parking too?
Yeah,
Damn.
free parking. Yeah. And the parking's $30. So
yeah.
It's if you're a Southern California resident, it's an absolute steal. Like if you go once, you should just get the Universal Pass because all you have to do is go one more time and you've already saved the money on 2 tickets.
Right.
We did a ride because the kids are just like a little too short to ride anything yet. There were like a couple rides, but they weren't real rides or anything. So we went to like the shows and things they have, which I had never seen. So that was kind of fun. But we did the tour, which I'd never done the tour, and I heard the Universal like lot tour was fun. But I don't know, Teresa and I always skipped it because we're like, yeah, we've been on like we've seen sets before. Like, who cares? I didn't realize they incorporated into like a ride.
Well,
so there's like 2 portions of it that are like a ride where this like 4-car tram, so it's like really big, will drive into a hydraulic like lift that fits the whole thing,
That's
and you're
sick.
surrounded by one of those LED walls, and one of them is like you're in King Kong and it's in 3D, so you put 3D glasses on, and the whole tram is like going through the jungle with like King Kong and the dinosaurs and shit, which was like pretty cool. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other one is like Fast and Furious, so it's like you're on the tram and like there's like a Fast and Furious scene happening around you. So that was pretty cool. That was probably the highlight of that. And we played some video games with my 4-year-old niece.
Mm.
And here's what I learned. The auto drive feature on Mario helps you less than I would have guessed. I thought if you just did like, the acceleration with the bumpers and everything else, it would kind of drive for you.
It doesn't. Yeah.
No, she only didn't get 12th like a couple times. We did try the motion controls. I like gave her the motion controls
Oh
first, thinking
God.
like, well, I'm thinking like that might be easier, but it definitely wasn't. She did better with the stick. I think the best she got was like 8th. Um,
Mm.
but that's not bad. 4 years old. It's like kind of probably like a year away from being able to actually like
Mm-hmm.
play a game. But yeah,
Being a pro.
yeah.
We had they're not our niece and nephew, but Brooke's cousins' kids, and all of her cousins were over, and we were with them, and we checked out Gang Beasts, which I thought would
Oh,
be
I'm
kind of
surprised you
like
didn't open
fun.
party animals.
I did,
Yeah.
but I realized that there was just too much going on
Oh,
because
okay.
it's there's game modes and like all this
Oh,
stuff,
okay.
and it's way more of like a more modern multiplayer game where there's just so much stuff. So I just booted up Gang Beasts because I was like, I know what this is. It's way more, and like there's way more nuance to the party animal like controls, whereas Gang Beasts is just like
Yeah.
headbutt and then pick them
Yeah.
up. So we checked that out. We played um booted up Lego Fortnite for them. Goat Simulator, which was on Game Pass. They loved that.
Sure. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And but then I had a eureka moment, and I was like,
Oh
we're
boy.
just gonna have him swing around in Spider-Man. We're just gonna boot up
Okay.
Spider-Man and show. And when the one kid, Wyatt, the older brother, when he did his first swing, the look on his face was just I just like I will never forget like the wonderment with which he was just like absolutely in awe, and he was like, oh my god, this is a real video. Like it blew him away, in which the other games he was just like simply amused by. And I was like, this is the moment. This is great. So check those out. And then separate from that though, I checked out on Quest Assassin's Creed VR.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
This is, I
Go on.
think, the other than things like Walkabout mini golf and these like fun multiplayer experiences.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to, if you were looking for what is the VR game that feels like a video game, this is the one I would recommend over even the Asgard's Wrath, because that's just so much. This is like a familiar IP, and the VR is so well done for like translating like parkour and like combat. It just feels right. I don't think the tracking is as good as Asgard's Wrath. I feel like the polish on Asgard's Wrath is really cool. The other thing I love that it does is when you're in the Nexus, like when you're in the modern day stuff, it does like and you're interacting with those characters, and you're all interacting in the virtual space, because it's doing the pass through. It uses the pass through, and it's almost like you have like a Iron Man like HUD, because you
Oh,
can
that's
see
cool.
your room, but like
Yeah.
there's a transparent like screen that's popped up, and you have to like connect, because you're spoiler,
Inanimous.
you're an inside man, right? Like you are working for Abstergo, but you're like working with the assassins. And so sometimes you'll be like chatting to your boss at Abstergo, and then you need to talk to the the assassin team. And so you have to, in this interface, this Iron Man like interface, you have to like switch the nodes. It's like a cube, and
Mm-hmm.
it's made of smaller cubes, and you can see floating a pattern that's connecting like the cubes, just like a
Mm-hmm.
line. And so you have to start placing the cubes in the correct space to form the line in this. So there's like interactivity there as well. That's actually really fun. So I actually think this might be the best Assassin's Creed game I've played in years because
Wow.
the modern day stuff is interesting because it has like these fun puzzle mechanics, and then it's really great to get an Ezio story. Like it's an actual pretty solid, like we get another adventure with Ezio. I'm still doing the Ezio stuff, but you know, it's another story with that character who is probably, you know, my favorite and a lot of people's favorite Assassin's Creed assassin. So yeah, honestly, if you've got the quest, I think, and you're an Assassin's Creed fan, yeah, cool
Mhm.
stuff.
All right.
I think Lego is really good for similar reasons of like the pass-through stuff. I think the pass-through
Yeah.
stuff is by far my favorite thing about the Quest. I'm really
Mhm.
jealous of anyone that gets one of these Apple Vision Pros. I'm gonna wait at least until the second generation because this is not meant to be made for consumers. Um, they're really cool. Speaking of which, I have played every hour of Prince of Persia through my Quest.
Oh,
Oh.
so how are you doing it?
I sideloaded the Xbox app for Android onto the Quest. Um, and I'm just it's basically it's the same thing as like your phone when you do game streaming. So it streams from my Xbox
Right.
to it. The latency is actually better because I have my controller connected to my Xbox. So what's great is because I have an L-shaped couch. Tom, I'm sitting on the one that's, you know, on the
Oh,
end of the
not
L,
facing the TV.
not
Yeah.
facing the TV, and I've been watching TV. I watched that Berlin show. It's the prequel to Money Heist that came out, and I've watched some other stuff on there. I watched Around the World in 80 Days, and I'll be playing like an Xbox game in front of it. So it's unbelievable, Tom. It's been flawless. I haven't had any lag with it while I've been
That's
playing that
awesome.
way. The giant virtual screen, it's like very, very, very cool.
Yep. Agreed.
It's hard to, man, man,
Tuna,
man.
Tuna.
I'm reading that
Here we go.
apparently Demio, they're not making any more books. They're done. So whatever's out
Oh,
now is what's out.
wow.
It'll be out.
Can we get additional ones? Because there's like 6, right?
Yeah. But they're not
Well,
doing it.
let's see if we can beat the second one.
I know we barely beat the first one.
I feel like we
So
got it. I feel like we got it.
you think we got it?
People say it's easier if you have all 4 people just because
Mm,
it's easier strategy wise when you have the different things that people can do. And they say it's harder if you just do 3 people, because you just don't have as many options available to you when it comes to like healing and attack and
yeah,
DPS and
makes sense.
shielding. And so we'll have to reattempt. Tom, when are you gonna get Around the World in 80 Days? When are we gonna play a little walkabout?
Yeah, what's going on?
Potential.
What's
Well,
the situation?
this weekend's tough. We got
Why?
the Brooks sisters baby shower is
I
Saturday.
mean,
Mm.
that's not why you're going to that.
Yeah, I am going to that.
You gonna
Remember
be
when
at
we had a
Funkle?
conversation?
I mean, you could say that you're sick. You could say a lot of things. I mean, there's no reason.
It's happening in the basement of my building.
And
Yeah,
I just don't
no,
think I'm going to get away with saying that I'm
well,
sick.
no, you can just wear the headset.
Oh, right. Yeah, I could just
yeah,
there's tons
that's
of
another
space
good
down there.
point. Yeah,
I'll just do it at
And if you
the
have to
baby
like go
shower.
do something with Brooke, just hand the headset off to someone else.
Yeah, there we go.
yeah,
Just
Problem solved.
play on the Quest thing. You don't need to worry about the wires. Man,
Right,
that battery
and then-
life sucks.
It is bad.
That battery life on that thing sucks, Tuna. Hour and a half
Well, I don't have it.
most max.
I don't have it.
Hour and a half
So-
max. Done.
No, that doesn't fly. That's not.
No.
That's Demio took us longer than an hour and a half to beat.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
yeah.
So I'm playing with it plugged in a lot of the time.
And I'd rather
But then
play.
like
I
what's
mean,
the point of not
yeah.
having the wire? Because
Yeah.
it's plugged in anyway.
Yeah, the wire doesn't bother me at all.
It's fine. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
It doesn't take me out of it.
No. I'm excited though they're making a GTA for the Oculus one. And then it's GTA San Andreas. Yeah.
Mhm, supposedly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which like,
I don't know.
They
No,
announced
see that
that-
already.
They announced
that
it
doesn't-
years ago, though. I don't know if
But
that's
that doesn't appeal to me. Like that doesn't appeal to me. That's not what VR is. Like that doesn't work for me.
The
It just
like
doesn't.
fuck around part of it appeals to me, Alex, of just like knocking a place over and like getting in the car and going on the run, like, but not
Yeah, but
playing
in a
the actual
car?
game.
Like, I don't know if in VR, like, I'm not going to get nauseous from like running around, getting in a car, like doing all the mechanics of like getting in a
If you
car,
could do
driving the
Pavlov,
car.
dude, you're gonna be fine. You're flying
I
around in
know, but it
Walkabout. You're
just,
fine.
I I just don't see it as, nah.
I think the perspective is the thing that's going to be cool. It's not so
Yeah,
much that like I want
yeah,
to feel like I'm running around. I just want
yeah.
like I think the perspective of that for something like Grand Theft Auto. There's just never been anything like it.
No,
You know,
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Tom,
What do we got?
I just had
Where are
something and I
we?
was going to say something and now I forgot what it was.
What part of the
Oh,
show are we at?
speaking of driving, because I hear that I was very close to the other day.
What?
Just Tom, they got so close. They almost got me. I watched the Gran Turismo movie, and then I almost
Right.
bought Gran Turismo 7 for the PlayStation because they actually have that game, the PS5 game, in VR, and it apparently is like unbelievable in VR. Um, they almost got me to buy it. That is
Well,
like
Gran
a
Turismo 7 in
solid.
V. I played the Gran Turismo 7 mode game in VR. It's really good.
I hear it's like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Which
You don't
that
get nauseous from moving, from like driving and
No, honestly, it's probably the other than just simple things like Demio. I actually think it's probably the most comfortable VR
yeah, because
experience I've
everything
had.
around you is stationary. You're just looking through a window that's
Yeah.
moving, you
all right.
know, while you're in the car. Um, that movie was not bad. It was like I think it's a totally serviceable like
Yeah,
B movie.
I heard it was solid.
There's only one scene that's like does the like video game and real life stuff that was corny. Any of the other like 3D elements don't really feel like they're necessarily like video gamey or bad.
Mhm.
And it's also the one scene that supposedly was like embellished and is not based on a true story, whereas the rest of it is. I do like that the actual race car driver that it's based on in the movie is the stunt driver in the movie, which I think is pretty cool. Um,
Yeah.
so that's kind of a fun fact. But yeah, that was surprisingly fun. Um, and then I did have one other thing. Oh, what
Tom, do
was it?
you not like Miyazaki's like children's stuff?
Why?
Well, because you've never mentioned My Neighbor Totoro, and I feel like a lot of the
Yeah, I
internet
mean,
does talk about it.
I think I've brought it up, but like they're just very juvenile.
Okay.
Like they what I like about the other Miyazaki films
Yeah.
is has a lot to do with the
If we're
adult themes.
adults.
Right.
Well, just that they're like
But I liked
Totoro.
Arthur, so I might like this. I might watch this tonight.
Which one?
It's good.
My Neighbor.
It's good.
Oh, you've never seen it before.
No, it's good.
No, Thomas.
Oh,
I will agree,
no, no, no.
Alex. It's
You
not
Tom,
should
like
you
should
told
watch.
me, you gave me a list of Miyazaki films, and none of these were on the list.
I thought you had expanded beyond. I thought you'd
No, I was staying
expanded.
away because I thought you said that they were not the best. They were
They
not good.
are. They are. No,
yeah,
I
they're
didn't
all
say
good.
they weren't good. They're totally worth watching.
You just turn your nose
When
up at it because the juvenile.
that I don't turn my nose up at them. Just when I watch them, I'm
Yeah.
like, I enjoyed that, but it is meant for children.
The
But I like
story's
kids
not going to
stuff.
be as engaging.
I don't
Story's
care
not.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
told you, I'm watching Arthur and Hey Arnold every day.
If you're really just into it for like the Ghibli and Miyazaki animation, like those are definitely worth it. Like
All right, all right.
Kiki's is good. Like
Mm-hmm.
honestly, my least favorite probably is Ponyo.
yeah.
All right.
But that's got some cool stuff. Like there isn't a single
Well,
Ghibli
I might.
or
Yeah, no,
Miyazaki
because
movie that isn't
well,
worth watching. You should watch
yeah,
Lupin the Third.
well, I might after this. I might.
Yeah.
I have to go to the. I'll probably be in the guest room tonight. I'm waiting for that text. Like, don't come up.
Have you ever had to actually sleep with the guest?
Not from a
He's
fight.
Oh,
he
okay.
said because Avery was or his daughter was doing whatever.
Well, yeah,
pulled
because
in.
I'm because we have different schools of thoughts. I would wait a little bit when she cries out in the middle of the night. The other Brittany just goes right in. I'm like, ah,
Yeah.
fine, bring
Yeah,
her
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And then the
Let 'em
two of
cry it
them are
out.
up.
So earlier you were talking about
It was
spoilers with titles and things.
spoilers with
It was
titles.
like at the beginning of the episode. My brain just remembered it. Um,
Okay.
the worst thing, this is the absolute worst thing about the TV show One Piece. Not the
Oh,
manga, but the TV show.
Okay.
The titles of the episodes are
Yeah.
so unbelievably egregious in the way in which they spoil what happens in the episode that
Yeah.
there's like, look, it's a show where people like get killed all the time. There's like a major death that happens in the show at one point, and it just says the title of the episode is blank dies.
I think didn't Dragon Ball Z used to do some of that too? Like Piccolo
It
dead.
might have. It
It's
might
like-
have. Except there's no Dragon Balls. People aren't being wished back in this show.
Right.
That's-
Right.
You're
Well,
dead,
actually,
you're dead in
I
one
was thinking
piece.
about this yesterday when I was watching or the other day when I was watching the Traitors. They did like a promo at the end of episode 3. It was like this season on the Traitors, and I'm like, you're showing people
turn
that
that
are
off.
like
Yeah,
around.
turn that off
Like
immediately.
I turned it off immediately. I was like, what
Absolutely.
the fuck? Why would
Yeah.
you do that? Like it's a show where
Absolutely.
people leave. Like what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Oh, who
You
edits
can't- you
these? Who puts this shit together?
It's Alex, it's all based on feedback of like what like they put the promo out, and are people watching longer? Like are
Stupid.
people watching more likely to watch? Who knows?
Stop
It
trying
must-
to game it.
There's some kind of everything is,
I'm trying to game it.
everything is optimized to hell and back.
Yeah.
Anyone got
All
anything
right.
else?
No. No, I got the picture that you sent. I got it framed.
Oh hell yeah.
It's so fucking funny. Imagine explaining that to someone. He's looking at it with admiration. He's like, I can't believe it.
It's great. It's the
he made this
Taskmaster
happen.
house with the thing that I sent. I mean,
duck
what else could I
banana.
ask for?
Amazing.
This is something that Avery one day is going to come down here and it's going to be like, what is this?
Yeah, what is this?
What is this? Why is it in a frame? What is the story behind this?
Let me tell you.
That's
The
amazing.
little
This
show
is
called
actually
Taskmaster.
really weird. This is
Yeah.
really weird.
Yeah, it
like
is.
for someone who
You're
just
slowly
realizing
making
that.
the pivot into weird dad.
like for someone to come down here and see this picture in a frame. It's framed. Okay. For someone to come down here and be like, look at all this other stuff. It's like, okay, books.
Do
Back
you
to
have
the
a do
future.
you have a picture of your kid or your wife at your desk?
No. No, this is at my desk.
Here's a photo of a task I did.
Yeah. I mean, this is the weird.
Not
this
even
is
Chris.
So
Like someone
weird.
that Chris got on through Reddit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But then I took that picture.
That is.
I mean,
funny.
it's amazing. And when Avery one day comes down here and asks me, this is like Grisha in the fucking basement in Attack on Titan. What does this
What's in the
mean?
bait? Yeah, you're like, Avery, if you're a good girl, I'll let you know what I've been doing in the basement.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
They show her this picture. Her whole world will change.
Behind it is like the text that like describes this is a photograph.
Yeah.
I honestly thought Alex would like it as much as he does. It's surprising to see that was true still, but this is why it was killing me to not be able to tell anyone about this for how long I had to. That was just. All right, let's get into the news. I watched that Indiana Jones trailer, and that game looks fucking sick.
It does look really good. I'll give it to you.
I just was
great.
hoping, I was like, all right, this is gonna look like Uncharted. I hope it just shows me something different that makes me excited. And it doesn't look like Uncharted at all.
No.
Well,
Yeah,
it's in first person.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting choice.
Well, did you play the
interested to-
Wolfenstein games?
Negative.
I didn't play the
Interesting.
new ones, but it
That's
does look like.
fantastic.
So this is the same dev, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks very much like those games. I can't. Those are worth playing. And they're
That's
short.
what I've heard. I've heard they're great.
They're not very long. So, and they're alternate history World War II.
Yeah.
So they were just like, we love making games about killing Nazis. Who's the ultimate Nazi killer? All right, let's make that game. Yeah, so it is first person. It does have third person during like traversal. So if you use your whip to like swing, it'll cut to third person
which makes sense if we were going to be doing.
Yeah.
What's the game that was like first person platforming?
Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge. Yes.
But Metroid Prime, you use the grappling hook, but Metroid Prime's not a platformer at all. Like there's some like it is, but it's not really, not in the same way that that this would be. So Metroid
Right.
Prime, you stay though in first person when you use
And
the
their
grapple.
excuse, that well, not their excuse. I don't want to say excuse because that makes it sound like it's a negative thing. But their
Yeah,
reasoning behind the first person was a this is what we do. Like Wolfenstein, a first person. Like we know how to
sure.
make these games. But
Mhm.
B also, we want you to inhabit indie. We want, it's. And I was thinking about it. I was, one of the cool things, the thing I always love about Indiana Jones, and the thing I like about the new one is the new movie is that
I
he
like it
always
too.
like he pays attention to detail like no other, and
Mhm.
that's
Who's
how he
he?
always
Indie.
indie.
Oh, okay.
And so like like obviously with his archaeology and everything, like he's so sharp eyed with that, like he has to be, right? But also like when he needs to get out of a scrap or something like that, he's able to like see something in the environment to use to his advantage, or like so he as a character, you know he sees the world in like a specific way, and so I think that and like with the punching, and they were talking about like you'll see your knuckles getting bloodied like as you're punching. Like I just thought it was I think it's really smart, and as you said, Chris, in the text, like what a great way to differentiate yourself from just being another treasure hunter like Tomb Raider
Yeah,
or
Tomb Raider,
Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Yeah,
You know what though? It makes me think that the puzzles are going to be way better than Uncharted and Tomb
agreed.
Raider because every puzzle game Alex and I play, they're first person like puzzle solvers, and that allows you to do things that like the Uncharted puzzles were always just environmental, like push things here or there. Like can let us get like real interesting puzzles like the
Yeah,
Indiana Jones games actually have.
yeah.
So I'm like this my interest went way up from this within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, and they also mentioned in that video, it's not in the trailer, it's in the long. I don't know if you watched the longer like
Good time
breakout
to
that
be a
they.
Game Pass subscriber.
Honestly, this year I think is going to be.
Wait, this is coming to Game Pass?
It's
Yeah, because
This is
it's an
Microsoft first
Xbox
party,
game.
baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, well, let's get into the news because it's a part of the developer direct, which showed off three first-party Microsoft games that are planned for this year, and then a couple of third-party games that are coming this year. So the first one they showed off was Avowed. This is Obsidian's fantasy action RPG. It's set in the Pillars of Eternity uh, universe that they made for the games. This is the developer, obviously, of Fallout New Vegas. They made the Outer Worlds, and this very much looks like the fantasy version of the Outer Worlds. The cool thing that they showed off with this, just imagine kind of like Skyrim, a little bit more cartoony.
Hmm.
But the cool thing they showed off about this is they don't want to restrict you to just like a class. So you're not just a magic wielder. You're not just someone that has a sword and shield. You're not just a bow, someone with an archer, right? They were talking about like you create loadouts that you can hot swap immediately. So in the combat, there was this person fighting, and they had dual wielding wands. Like one was
Mm.
a fire wand, one was a fire ice wand. They were blasting. Then they switched instantaneously to a sword and pistol, and so then the hacking and slashing, and shooting, and then they swap. An enemy comes into attack, and they swap out the pistol with a shield, and like so you're hot swapping between all of the different varieties of weapons, and that's what they're kind of focusing as like its differentiating factor. And it's supposedly coming out this fall. We don't have anything more than that. Um, but fall of this year, and it's going to be not as big as something like Skyrim. It's probably, I'm imagining, going to be very similar to the size of the Outer Worlds, which is relatively small for like an RPG.
Which, by the way,
Mhm.
is like the vibe I got from this. I was like, oh, this
Yeah,
is just going to be, this is, you know, fantasy Outer Worlds kind of. I did never play that. I heard that game was actually really fun and kind of short. I, it's one of those games that like I wish I remember when like I don't really feel like I have a game that I really want to play, like, and I'm in a lull. Like that's the kind of thing that'll be like, oh,
sure.
cool, let me go play this quick, like fun experience. And like this seems like I'm not gonna get pumped for that game Avowed, but
No,
if it
but it's
comes
on
at the
Game
right
Pass.
time, I might play it. Yeah, you
And you
know,
won't have to pay any money for it.
exactly.
Additionally, I mean that's the that doubles my hype for any of these games. Like, oh, just play it when it comes out.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I thought the hot swapping looked really good. I'm a little not concerned because I don't have like a ton of vested interest in this game, but the one thing about something like the Outer Worlds and it being a smaller experience is that um it Fallout New Vegas was such a fantastic game and was a really good RPG, and like your decisions and consequences and the choices you made in that game are like some of the most effective in any RPG I've ever played. And the Outer Worlds, which was their kind of, well, we can't make Fallout, so let's make our own thing that's in this style. I was very disappointed in the choices you could make as a character. I thought they were very limited. I thought they didn't really affect anything. So like the actual role playing part, I thought was a little underwhelming in Outer Worlds. It's a fun game. I enjoyed it. But I'm especially concerned now because we've had something like Baldur's Gate and we're even more removed from that Fallout style RPG game that the kind of role playing part of that, like the combat will be good, I think, and I'm a little concerned about like story and the role playing aspects and the actual RPG-ness of it. But
Mhm.
I think it'll be worth checking out on Game Pass. So we'll see when that
Oh
comes
yeah.
out. The next game that was shown off, we got a look at Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga. This is from Ninja Theory. The first one is fantastic, one of my favorite games of last generation. And basically, that they said that they're aiming to mix groundbreaking technology um, with art, and it's going to be about as long as the first game, which is short. It's only like 7, 8 hours. The first game I think I played in like 2 sittings. It's really good and definitely worth experiencing, and it is very, very short. And they say that this is going to be about the same length as that first one, even though
Okay.
it's been in development for a long time. So you got to imagine that they're
This
just
is the one that has that like insane animation they always show off with like the face and
yes.
everything. Yeah.
hmm Yes, and audio is like a huge part of the original game, and apparently they're pushing that even further because it did a lot of like 3D space stuff, but it's about her hearing voices, but apparently like now everything is in that like spatial audio experience. Yeah, and then if you don't have Game Pass, it's actually pretty cheap because it is a short game. They're only selling it for $50. And it is digital only. They're not doing a physical copy. But that's coming out May 21st is its launch date. I imagine it'll hit that because they've been so coy about the launch date for this game.
Yeah.
But I honestly recommend Senua's Sacrifice is the name of the first one. That's on Game Pass. It is a quick little game. If we want to do it
Alex would
for
probably like that now that he
yeah,
played um that game.
it's got big God of War vibes.
All right.
It's combat is it's not a focus of the game. It's way more of a focused on the story. The combat is fun. It's just not deep. So it doesn't have that layer, and it is very short. It is only like 7 hours.
Mm.
But yeah, so I recommend, yeah, maybe we'll do that as a game club game before the release of
Oh wow,
Senua's Saga.
Indiana Jones can be a game club game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We can do you can play Avowed and we'll make it a game club thing. Visions of Mana was shown off. This was their surprise. Last year's surprise was Hi-Fi Rush and it dropping immediately. This was a look at Visions of Mana, which is the first game in the Mana series to release on Xbox. This is a JRPG. Um, it's slated for summer. I don't know if it's on Game Pass. I don't think that they confirmed. I think they're just showing it off. They showed off Ara History Untold, which is from Oxide Games. So this is another third-party title. This is the studio that is that was founded by several Civilization founders, and this is basically Civ. So if you like
Okay.
Civ, Ara
Mm.
History Untold is it. Honestly, there was nothing I saw in that presentation that didn't. They kept being like, "We're going to advance we're going to make the ultimate 4X, right? Because they're called 4X strategy games. We're going to make the ultimate 4X strategy game. And I was watching it and I was like, I'm pretty sure all of this is in Civilization, but we'll see. This will be on Game Pass and it's coming out in the fall as well. And then, yes, Indiana Jones was the final title, set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade, which makes obviously a ton of sense. As we mentioned, it's first person with some third person moments.
Is that Harrison Ford or is that a sound alike?
It's Troy Baker.
Okay, because I was
Oh.
listening, was like, this doesn't sound like Harrison Ford.
But also
However,
does.
It sounds like a good impersonation.
it's
though.
it's
Yeah,
a
it
good
does.
it's a good impersonation. But all I kept thinking was Harrison Ford's getting old.
Yeah.
Maybe Harrison Ford sounds different.
Can you imagine if they came out and it was like, no, it's AI. We just like took his voice or whatever.
I mean, I could imagine.
Yeah, right. There was something else with the other thing that they showed off, you guys didn't did you watch the full presentation or you just watched the gameplay trailer?
Just the
2 minute thing.
minutes. Yeah.
So that they do like a whole 10-minute piece. They talk about the music, they talk about all the stuff. They talk about the fact is like they want to go heavy on the puzzles. And so apparently
That's what I think the first person is so important. Like I believe it. I think that's actually like part of why they even went into I bet that's a big part of this.
no 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, and it's they were talking about how there will be a ton of puzzles not even tied to just progressing in the story. Like there will be a ton of hidden areas and things like that, a ton of optional puzzles that you can do and tackle. So I'm very excited in this. And then the other cool thing that was mentioned was this is Todd Howard is involved, from Bethesda Game Studios, Fallout, Skyrim,
Yeah.
recently Starfield. It's like his brainchild, and he said he's had this idea for an Indiana Jones game for like forever, and like a story. He's like I've had this idea. He's like, I'm a huge indie fan. I've had this idea for a cool Indiana Jones story for, I think he said like something like 20 years, and he's like finally got a meeting with Lucasfilm.
I mean, the story is
to
great.
let them do that.
I'm super into the concept.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah.
What do you think about the title? The Great
I think it's
Circle.
great. I love the whole concept of what it's about. Alex, did you ever see the fifth movie?
No.
Ooh, you will
No.
like the mystery item in that one.
Oh yeah.
Why is it
Yeah, that's a
Rome-based?
fun movie.
The fun
there's
fact,
parts that are not great, but it's fun.
Chris,
it's not the
alright.
worst Indiana Jones. It's right in the middle.
The MacGuffin from Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny is the MacGuffin in Assassin's Creed Nexus, the VR game. It's
Oh,
the
really?
same, like yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
the same one. And so
I could see that. That makes sense in some ways.
they're just right. They're describing it. They're like, yes, the blah blah blah, and like I was like, I know all about this
Yeah.
thing. I like Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
I'm a Dial of Destiny apologist,
Dude. Dial of Destiny. I think it's right in the middle. There's two
Yep.
really incredible Indiana Jones movies. I think there's one like good, like it's like a fun movie, which is what I would put Dial of Destiny. And I think there's two bad ones.
You don't like Temple of Doom?
Yeah, it's not.
I don't like
not-
Temple of Doom is my least favorite of the original trilogy. I think
Yeah.
it might
Yeah.
have a lot to do though with it scared me as a kid.
Yeah, it was a much scarier movie.
Raiders is
I
kind of
think this
scary.
is better. Look, Temple of Doom's a lot better than Crystal Skull. Okay, it's like
Yeah.
Temple of Doom's like a C movie, Dial of Destiny's a B movie, and then you got two A's, and then you got the F. There's but
Last
this is I think
Crusade
it's
has
better
always
than
been my
Temple of Doom.
favorite because it was the least scary.
Sure. It's also the best one. Last Crusade's the best one.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Okay. I don't necessarily disagree.
I think it's the most iconic for a reason.
You think Last Crusade is the most iconic? That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the face melting, the end of
The
it.
face
with
melting is
The
Raiders.
face melting in
Oh,
Raiders.
sorry. But okay. Yeah. I'm thinking I don't know why I was thinking Last Crusade. I was thinking Raiders.
Raiders
I was-
is yes.
I-
That is
Last
the
Crusade,
wrong
he
one.
ages.
That's right.
and Sean
I'm-
Connery.
I
Sean
was thinking
Connery
of Raiders.
Gets an
Raiders
umbrella
is,
and he
I think, the best
remembers
one.
his Charlemagne.
Did you know that the first Indiana Jones movie is just called Raiders of the Lost Ark? It's not called Indiana Jones.
Sure,
and
they
Raiders
had
of the
tacked
Lost
that on
Ark.
later.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean like how Episode 4, A New Hope, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
episode 4. It was just Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Did you know that
episode 4.
Aragorn, Viggo
Did you
Mortensen broke
know
his toe?
that
Yeah, did you know-
Did you know that we are closer to the age of Cleopatra than Cleopatra was to the
Did you know that
Persians?
Wario
Did you know that Viggo
is a
Mortensen actually hit that
portmanteau?
sword? He hit the knife,
Yeah.
the dagger with the
Yeah.
sword.
Mm. Mm.
Wario portmanteau.
Yeah.
Bad and
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Did
That's
you know
an
that
old
Master
one.
Chief is a master chef?
Maestro Chef.
Maestro chef, sorry. Oh, that comes back.
Maestro Chef.
Tom,
Can't wait for Halo Season 2.
let's introduce, because you have a game from last week, do you not?
I do have a game from last
So
week.
let's do our head-to-head first, and then we'll play the
Okay.
game.
Cool.
Head to head.
Tom, you picked it this time. Let's introduce it.
Yeah, so we have a head-to-head. It was play Team Slayer and take your kill count and negate your death count from it, and whoever has the highest score.
Best spread.
Best spread. I
Best
guess
spread.
I could have just done like who has the best KD, but
Yeah.
whatever.
And in Halo Infinite, Team Slayer. You know what I was thinking, Tom? What we should do is we should also invite the community and then post like whatever game in like a community subreddit for that game to
I like
also
that.
send in their best video, and the best community winner, we like send them a thing,
Okay.
you know, and then we see how we stack up against players of
Sure.
that game.
I'm-
We'll get our
I'm-
ass kicked. We should make little trophies, little head-to-head trophies.
So
Tom can 3D print.
a
And then send a little
oh yeah, I
trophy.
could do that. Yeah. So Chris asked me why he was like, I'm surprised that you picked Halo, like a Halo thing.
Yes.
And I said,
'Cause
oh, I did.
Alex should win.
I'm
is how I
curious.
feel.
Well, yeah, I'm curious. I wanted to see if I challenged myself.
Uh-huh.
Because I just play this game with you guys, and sometimes we do well, but a lot of the time there's a lot of just like we're talking. I'm not fully engaged with the game, so
Sure.
I wanted to see how I would perform like under duress, like I'm actually trying to play well. And I am shocked at how different that experience was. I was trying to stick, I was always trying to buddy up with people. I was so aware of where my teammates were. I was very cautious. I realized
Whenever
that
we're
it's
losing, it's because all of us are just going in,
just
playing,
running,
going
just
in, guns
running in,
blazing,
yeah.
not looking for anyone else, not shooting
And I
together.
realized, as
Conversation's good, gameplay's bad.
I realized that it's as I was playing, I was like, oh, it's just as, this sounds stupid, but I realized it's just as important about how many times I die as it is about like how many kills I get. So the match that I submitted isn't even like my highest kill count. It's just like my best, like my most cautious match almost. And the other thing is I was so much more confident in the shots I was taking. I feel like so often like I'm taking shots and I'm not committing because I'm like, oh, I gotta adjust. But in this one, there are some kills that I get where I'm like, no, like I have enough ammunition in the mag on the M4 MA or whatever it's called, the MA40. I have enough ammunition. It's going to be able to take him out. I just need to like keep track of him. So yeah, I actually had a ton of fun playing this, and I'm very curious as to how we all did.
How long did everyone play, you think, for this?
I did about 5
Not that long.
matches.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did maybe an hour and a half, so probably like 8.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So like 8 matches or so.
All right.
I will say I did not think that the game I was playing was going to be the one I was going to submit. I was doing well with not dying, which I realized is actually like maybe the most important thing here. But my kills were doing fine. But Alex was like, oh, nothing really happens in my last minute that we're about to watch. I do a full team wipe here at the end. So I was like, oh, this apparently is the one I will be submitting.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to watch all 3 of ours. Tuna, did you turn the music off on yours?
No.
Great. Oh, this is going to sound insane.
Sorry. You can't mute my... Oh, play.
We all have different levels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tuna's got streets.
Oh, here we go.
Chris
Here
has-
goes my team kill. There's 1, 2.
Damn.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, that's okay. So Tuna's done.
Oh, Tuna's game ended. Oh, you hit. Yeah. Report on yours.
Yeah.
What is Tuna?
17-6.
Oh my god.
17-6. Damn.
Yeah.
God damn.
What did you guys
16
get?
and 5, we tied.
Oh,
fuck. No. Oh,
No.
16 and 5.
Oh yeah, 16-5. Yeah.
Damn, that's good.
16-5.
I think I got 5 was my differential. I think it was like 10 and 5.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like getting only 5 deaths is
11 and 6.
11 and 6. Yeah, getting only 5 or 6 deaths is like so hard.
It's tough.
Yep.
It's tough. The first match I played, I was like getting kills, but I was also getting killed. So I ended up like zeroing. So I was like, oh, I gotta not die as much. Like even if I just get a couple of kills,
Yes.
like as long as I don't die, there it is.
Yep.
So this match I did well in. I had a lot of assists, a couple of assists in this match that I thought were like bogus. The next match was the original Halo Infinite map, the kind of desert one with the monolith in the middle, and it's just a circle, like you're on a big giant podium thing, which is one of my favorite. Is probably my favorite from that original batch. And I was like, okay, I know this one. I'm gonna do really well. And I was like 10-0, or like 10-1 for most of it.
Yeah.
And then I just had like such a run of bad luck at the end, and I like got 3 or something. And then the final one was almost the inverse. It was that one we hate where the guy on the ghost was just creaming us.
Yep.
I got that, and I was like,
I really like that level though.
I if you got the ghost, it's good.
Hey,
But
we had that huge comeback against that team that crushed us
on the
and then we
next
beat
match.
Yeah.
That one was fun, but it was the map of the first match, right? And so I'm in there, and I'm getting dying, and I'm like, my only way that I'm gonna salvage this is if I get the ghost. And I ended up doing that, and I got a ton of kills, but then it was the inverse of I'd already died 10 times. So I was like zeroed out at the end of that, and I was like, all right, 5, I guess, is all I got. It's hard. It is hard.
Well, so what do we do for the tiebreak here? Do Tuna and I reattempt, and next week we bring our best again?
Oh, wow.
I like that.
We only have 1 week.
All right.
Do you want now? I
Yeah,
thought
that's
maybe
fine.
we'd do a modifier of half assists, half points. But if you guys
We'll do
wanna
that for
it-
next week. I feel like that
Yeah.
info needs to be up front.
No, I'm
right?
yes,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I meant for next week.
Okay, so next week, if we tie again, we look at assists, and if we're still tied on assists, then we call.
Well,
do you want
to do assists
just
now between the two of you and just do it from the matches you played?
No.
No.
Okay.
Because we said it was just kills and deaths.
Okay, all right. I just thought it could be the tiebreaker, but
Yeah, you thought wrong, dude.
yeah. Tuna right now, like being like, I'm gonna win this fucking thing.
And then because whoever wins gets to pick next challenge.
Yeah,
and I think, we're gonna.
That's true.
We should.
That's true.
Well, I'll make us a like TikTok or something just for head to head, and it'll be like every 2 weeks we'll have a new head to head challenge, and that way we can get community people to send in, and that fourth box can just be us, our shitty
Against
boxes in the first 3, and then like someone from the community who's actually good, winning in the bottom.
Actually good. You guys did well. You got 11.
We could get like a little. I bet there's like a little controller, like video game trophy on Thingiverse that you could download right now.
100%.
I guarantee
that
it
immediately. Yeah.
Well, I thought maybe you were gonna be like, and this is actually from a professional Halo player.
No. I had. I was fucking on fire.
No, I'm just based on last challenge where you double duped us.
Yeah. Where Alex was like, I don't know what's real anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, this
Exactly.
is, you're like, this is really good, but now like
A week later, he's got a photo printed in a frame. He's like,
Yep.
"What am I doing? What am
Mhm.
I doing?"
is any of this real?
Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of games, Tom made us something.
I did make you something. If you're in the chat live, this is a potential audience participation game. I'm calling this game Hot Takes. I
Oh,
have
nice.
created 10, I think, what the public would consider bad video game takes. You're going to pick a number, you're each going to pick a number 1 through 10, and you're going to have to, I'm going to give you the bad take, and you're going to have to defend this bad take. And then I'm going to give it a score based on 1 through 5 on whether I think you did a good job of arguing
This is
on
interesting.
bad take's behalf.
We haven't had a subjective game in a while.
If you're
It's a little bit like Would I Lie to You, Tuna?
A little bit.
if you're in the chat, if you're live with me now, you can also submit a number and we'll do the average of the two. But if not, we will just do it based on mine. Okay. I'm gonna flip a coin. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100. Whoever gets closest.
50.
49.
You went the wrong way because I was thinking 52.
I was about to like make it for a second. I thought it was 1 to 50, so that's why I was like, I'll go in the middle. And then I'm like, wait, no, I'll just go to 49.
Okay. So Tuna's going first. Tuna, pick a number 1 through 10.
6.
Okay, my 6th hot take. 1, 2. Why? Why stick
God.
drift is good for consumers?
Oh, it's it lets you know when your controller is bad, so you can buy a new one.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Well, it's really good for people who have issues leaning to the left or the right. It corrects it for you. I remember when we were kids, actually.
So it's an accessibility feature, is what you're saying.
And I remember when we were kids, we'd be walking home from school, me and Chris.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Chris would like to walk into me sometimes. He would just like walk. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you're looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Like...
You would walk at a slant a little bit. You would slant a little bit. You'd walk into me a little bit while we were walking home on the sidewalk. So the stick drift will correct that for you.
Yeah.
Do you still do that now?
Yeah. Yeah.
The way that he just said "yeah" is like the way Avery is like when she comes up to me. She's like, "I want more chips," and I'm like, "You want chips?" She's like, "Yeah." Okay.
Tuna, I'm gonna give you a 4 on that.
Is that good or bad? Are we playing
4 out of 5?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. I actually like that. I liked you trying to pitch it as an accessibility feature. I liked the Chris story. That was funny.
Chris story always got to bring in the
Chris's face was really, really funny. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a 4. I thought that would be really tough, and you quickly got somewhere with it. So
I thought you were gonna go with like increased difficulty for skilled players. Like it gives you,
honestly,
a disadvantage so that you can like train harder. It's like Goku with the weights.
Yeah, that's good too, though. That's good too. I like that.
That would have been good. That would have been good, Chris.
Like
okay, Chris, a number 1 through 10, except for
4.
6. Okay, 4. Why bundling the Kinect with the Xbox One was a good idea?
Well, that's easy.
Yeah.
Because the Kinect fucking rules. Look, there were issues when it came to the Xbox One, but it was never the Kinect hardware. It was the always on. It was people being confused about the name. Was it the new Xbox? Because there's the Xbox 360, there's the Xbox, there's the Xbox One. It was the DVR TV nonsense. It was the originally you weren't going to be, but it was never the Kinect.
You don't think the price point, the fact it cost $100 more than a PS4?
Tom, previously, people went out and they bought $150 Kinects. on the last generation, and it was the fastest selling brand new consumer electronic category. It broke records, sold 10 million Kinects in the first month. It was fucking on fire. It was the new shit. I remember being at the Apple Store and talking to you about it, and we watched that stupid Star Wars demo that wasn't real, and they pretended like it was a real
Oh
game where
yeah,
someone
I
was
do
playing with a
remember
lightsaber.
that.
And you and I were like, this is going to be amazing. This is incredible. It's the idea that they're putting a new Kinect in the Xbox One is definitely a benefit because consumers are saving money because the previous model, which had worse technology, cost more money. And this one comes bundled with the Kinect, and you can control your TV by talking to it. I walk in the room, Xbox on. Now I walk in the room and say Xbox on, nothing happens.
That's true, actually.
I miss the you could just hold the QR code up on things.
That was that was huge.
It was good. I mean, look, I liked it. I'm so it sold 10 million in its first 60 days.
Okay, 60 days. I mean, I'm going, we're talking about
going off
12-year-old
the top of the head,
information that I'm
yeah.
pulling out of the back of my ass over here.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I think that I'm impressed with you knowing the sales information of the original Kinect, and I do agree with its technical capabilities, but I do think that you weren't necessarily able, I think, to address the pricing, and I think you kind of waved it
I
away
said
a
that
little bit.
people spent more money on worse hardware, and this new one is better
Sure, but
hardware and
it
costs
was
less.
optional, right? It wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Right.
Tuna number. I guess let's
1.
do. Okay, number 1.
Ooh.
Why the next Nintendo console should be something brand new and not just simply the Switch 2.
Why it should be? Nintendo's been amazing at that. This is, I don't even know if this is like a
the
cold
Wii
take.
U.
Yeah. They've
Like the
they've
Wii.
always thought outside the box. It's always been something new, and they've always 9 times out of 10 knocked it out of the park.
But I'm
They've done
talking
a
about
great job.
something that, isn't playing Switch games.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll leave it all behind. Nintendo's done it before. Nintendo has done it before, and it has survived. It will be fine. Nintendo
Right.
will be fine.
But why is that a better
Why?
move than simply making a Switch 2?
Because that's what Nintendo does. Nintendo does what Sega don't. Okay. What ends up happening is Nintendo, okay, Nintendo will create this new system, totally brand new, right? We went from GameCube to the Wii. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, look at these controllers. This is so stupid." Or we went from the N64 to the GameCube. Look how stupid this controller is. No. Nintendo always changes, and it always does well. I think I bet you Nintendo would do better if it didn't do a Switch 2. I think Nintendo would be better if it was like, hi, we're coming out with a VR system. It's only VR, Zelda in VR. Deal with it. People would be flying off the shelves. Flying.
All right, Tuna. I'm going to give you a 1 for that.
Tom, I knew you were biased against this from the jump.
Why would I be biased against it?
Because
you didn't give me. I think you really waved away any of the comments.
Your heart wasn't in it
up.
like it was with the thumbsticks.
It was, yeah, it wasn't.
Because Alex, you could tell Alex
didn't come up with
anything to try even pretend like this would be okay.
Yeah. You didn't come up with anything clever. It was just simply like, this is
Oh
what Nintendo's done.
You just sounded like a car salesman.
You spoke in circles. You were just making the same point over and over again.
He's trying to sell you a hydroxychloroquine with that one.
Yeah, or ivermectin. All right. So
I
mean, Alex, you got a raw deal on that one. That one was fun for no one.
That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Feeling better about my 3 now.
Ridiculous.
Chris, number 1 through 10, but not 1, 4, or 6. 8. I like this one for you. Right. Why symmetrical sticks are better than asymmetrical sticks? So why the PS5 layout is better than an Xbox controller layout?
Well, I mean, this one should be pretty obvious to everyone. Symmetrical sticks are going to be a benefit because of dexterity memory, right? Because by having the sticks be parallel to one another, you're training both thumbs to always learn the same kind of back and forth movements. It doesn't matter like, your memory's going to always have to deal with the X and the B being on opposite sides on Nintendo, or the X, with a triangle. It's not even letters on PlayStation.
Mm.
But having the buttons always be across from each other and having the sticks always be across from each other is going to let players get a lot better, a lot faster, and have less confusion other than the naming of the buttons themselves, which, by the way, is a whole other thing. We should just do north, south, east, west. Everyone wins. No one gets what they want. Everyone gets what we want, which is just unified buttons. But yeah, it is going to allow you to just train better. So when you pick up a different controller, you feel at home right away. Streets might look different, but you're still driving on the same side of the road. It's not like you're in the UK.
That last part, Tom.
What?
That was nonsense. That last little sentence there.
I'm giving Chris a 4.
Oh, this is outrageous. This is outrageous.
I thought he actually came up with a good point right out
He
of the gate.
He didn't. He
loved the
Googled it. It's from ChatGPT.
I didn't Google anything.
He didn't Google anything. I loved the little cherry on top of him being like the north, south, east, and west. I thought, oh, that's also a good idea. So there was like there was more. I got even more. He pushed it even further. He wasn't even simply talking about the sticks. So there was layers here. So I don't think it was a perfect argument, but I do think that it was a compelling one. All right, so yeah,
maybe
Chris...
I should be the one in the courtroom.
All right, Tuna. Number 1 through 10, except for 1, 4, 6, and 8.
I'll take number 2, Thomas.
Okay. Why Too Human is a good game, actually.
Tom, you did a good job picking.
Too Human is actually an amazing game because I rode my bike over 1.5 miles to go get this game. I was so excited for this game. And even when the rep at GameStop said, we don't normally let people return games after they buy them, but we're going to let you return this if you don't like it. And I said, that's fine.
Wait, they said that to you as you were purchasing it?
Yes. She said, we will let you return this game if you want to.
Wow.
And I said, you know what? Even though you just said that to me, I want to play this game with my friend. And that's what we want to do. So I'm going to purchase this game anyway. And she said, okay. And I got on my bike in the pouring rain I tied the GameStop bag to a stick, held it over my shoulder as I rode my bike home to play this game with my friend, booted it up, and I've never had a better time playing a video game in my life.
Okay,
and I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you the mechanics.
Yep.
Incredible. The story, unbelievable.
What about the story mechanics?
Well, the shooting was really cool.
Yep.
It was the aim was perfect with the left stick, and with an asymmetrical right stick, it was incredible. You had enemies coming from you from left and right, and with the sticks you could aim both ways, and that was the two human guns.
I don't think you know what the point of this game is.
Tom, the 2 human guns.
It's just saying stuff. He's just lying. Like, he's not even coming up with like a compelling argument. You know what I mean? He's just lying about it.
So she gave me 7 days to return the game.
Yeah.
And I didn't. We played the whole thing.
Did you not actually return it?
No, we didn't return it.
Okay.
We played the whole game. And I'll be damned, it was the best weekend of my life. I've never had.
He can't even do it. He can't even.
This is like liar. Like he's like physically.
Yeah, he's like in pain. Yeah, he's like.
I've never had a better gaming experience.
Oh my god!
And it was game of the year for me. 2007.
Ugh. Yeah, you're getting a 2 for this.
I rode my bike home in the pouring rain.
I think you should have stopped
the story.
You should have stopped before you started talking about the game.
Well, but that was the problem, is I liked the story about how you purchased the game, but that had no relevancy to the
Well,
actual
because I forgot what the
question.
fucking game was about. I don't know what the fucking game was about. We booted
Wait,
it up
do
for
you
like 10
remember?
minutes
Very
and then turned it
clear.
off.
Do you remember what would
guns,
happen
two
where
human.
you would die and then it was a minute and a half before you respawn because they made you watch this really long video where like Valkyries come down?
Oh my god, that sounds
There was a
terrible.
I don't
90
remember
second
what the
wait time
fucking game was
between you
about.
dying
We
and
literally
respawning.
we literally played it for about an hour, turned it off, and I went back and returned the fucking
Oh, you
game.
did return it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I fucking did. I wasn't gonna hang on to
Okay.
this goddamn game.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
You
Okay.
picked Alex has had to now argue for two things. I mean, I really hate asymmetrical sticks, but man, making him argue for two human, that was just cruel.
I know. I'm glad. I mean, I think it would have been funny either of you because obviously you both have
Oh,
memories of it. But
Tom,
I'm
great
happy
job
with
with
Tuna's
these.
answer.
Is
Okay,
this the last
Chris.
one?
Yes, this will be the
All right,
last
cool.
one. Um,
Save
and
the others. We'll do it again.
yeah,
It's funny.
I like the other ones too. Chris, a number except 1, 2, 4, 6, 8.
10.
Why Konami is the best game publisher? And to clarify, they have published games like Metal Gear Solid and Castlevania, and that's about it.
Well, first of all,
Mm.
one thing people don't know in the States, a lot of people in the States don't know about Konami. They're not just
It's already
limited to
such
video
bullshit.
games. They're
Mhm.
limited by nothing, Tom. Sky's the limit at Konami. They make pachinko machines. They're into gambling. That's right. And that's where a lot of their bread and butter comes from. They even have Metal Gear Solid gambling. They actually do have pachinko machines like based on their video game IP, which is kind of wild. But the reason that that's important is they can focus less on microtransactions and more on core games because they're getting, they're funding their games for people. They want these games to be like full, complete games. They don't want them to be partial games, game service, all that. They're like, we're going to build this other business that is going to basically pay for the rest of our game business. And we're going to lose money for you to have great games for cheap. It's like the opposite with Sony, whereas PlayStation is basically what makes them all their money. And then they have all these other divisions that do weird things like cameras and TVs and things that like they were once king of the hill and now they're not even like big players in anymore. Their video game business is like where they make their money now. This is the opposite for Konami. They make great games and lose money on it, and they fund that gaming business for us with everything else. Konami is also, as we know, they've supported great things like the Kinect. They're a multi-platform gamer, so they're on, game publishers. They're on Nintendo, they're on PlayStation, they're on Xbox. They once had one of the greatest artists of the video game world, you might say. I wouldn't want to just call him a developer. We're talking about Kojima, of course.
Sure.
An auteur, maybe one might call. In-house development,
One might call.
cultural impact. You got to consider all of these things when you consider.
He's blowing
Tom.
smoke up your ass right now.
I'm gonna give Chris.
Don't
a 3.
tell me.
Iconic franchises: Silent Hill, Pro Evolution Soccer, Castlevania. Metroidvania wouldn't exist. We would just have Metroids. We call everything Metroids, not Metroidvanias, if it wasn't for Konami.
Shit's fucking
Yeah, I'm
rigged.
giving Chris a 3. I liked him. The argument of they make money with their other businesses, so they can focus on just making quality games. That has not happened. Like,
no, it has not.
Metal Gear Survive is like historically known for just being like a bullshit game with microtransactions. That Silent Hill Ascension they released recently is apparently like a huge fucking scam. So the reality didn't line up with that claim, but I liked the idea of that claim. So we're gonna give Chris a 3, making Chris this week's winner.
Yes.
Gotta maybe go back to law school, Tuna.
Yeah, maybe.
That does it for this week's episode of Unranked. Next week, we'll be back with the conclusion to our second ever head-to-head. Tom, why don't you browse Thingiverse? Let me know if you find any game controller trophies or something. And then for the next challenge, once we have a winner next week, we'll be inviting the community to play along. The community winner will get a trophy. We'll figure that out, Tom. But until then, until next time, and forever and always, I'd like each and every one of you to stay unranked.
Tuna can suck it.
Okay.